This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Brandon Andrus Green.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. Have you ever wondered how much one tree can change a street, a neighborhood, or even an entire city? Well, one good neighbor may be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Steve Grantham, Executive Director of Up With Trees. Steve, how's it going?
Going very well, Brandon. Thanks for having me on.
I'm excited to have you on and hear all about your story and what all Up With Trees has going on. With my research, I noticed that Up With Trees began after a Tulsa high school student asked what would replace trees being removed for a road project. What does that origin story kind of say about how one person can influence an entire city?
Yeah, it's really one of my favorite stories, especially when I go talk to kids in schools saying, hey, you can really make an impact on your city for generations to come. So a young high school student at Edison, he was in Europe and saw how they did green spaces and came back. And trees were being removed in far south Tulsa, which is 51st Street between Peoria and Lewis now. So the city's definitely grown. But yeah, just a simple phone call to City Hall saying, what are you going to do about the trees? And here we are 50 years later. So.
Wow. And you guys are celebrating 50 years. And I was researching that you guys have planted, was it nearly 40,000 trees?
Yes. So we plant and then we maintain trees. So we've planted actually probably in excess of 40,000 now, but have distributed probably over 1/3 to people to plant in their yards all throughout the greater Tulsa area and northeastern Oklahoma.
Wow. So I didn't realize that. So even homeowners can get trees from you guys?
So we have had several programs over the years, certainly our seedling program over probably the last 25 years, where individuals come get small seedlings. But if they do their job right, those trees grow. And we've gotten pictures of trees that started off, just a foot tall that are 40 feet tall now. And then through other grant programs, from time to time, we distribute other 3 to 5 gallon trees, so some larger trees. And we do a lot of education on what's the best place to put them, how do you plant them, and then how do you take care of them long term.
Well, how did you get started in this?
Sure. So when I was 16, my father was a minister, and somebody in the church said, what's Steve going to do this summer? And my dad said, I don't know. And the guy said, well, I do. His kids owned a tree company. And I showed up and, nearly 40 years later, I've done other things, but trees have been a part of my life literally since the summer I was 16.
Wow. And do you have a lot of trees at your house?
I do. Fortunately, it's not like the cobbler's children go without shoes. I do have a lot of trees and I prune them a lot. I can't stand looking at them if they're not pruned. So I do take care of a lot of trees in my yard as well.
And how does this mechanism even work? How do you guys decide where to plant trees? Is this a city thing or a private thing?
So when it started, it was just kind of open areas. We would apply to the Department of Transportation, so ODOT, to get approval to do that. And a lot of it was driven by individuals who that's the way they drove to work, or it was a place that was meaningful to them. As we've evolved over the years, we did a urban forest master plan for the city back in 2016 to look at where do we need trees, what types of trees, and how many. And so it's become a much broader perspective on just where it would be meaningful for trees to be, maybe on an emotional standpoint, but where do we need trees for to reduce heat, to save on electricity, in central business areas. in neighborhoods that don't have many trees, or in parks that need help as well. So we are looking at it much more broadly than we did 50 years ago.
So are you guys just driving around and counting trees, or how are you guys doing this?
So fortunately, satellites exist now. Back in the early 70s, satellites existed, but the mapping that we have now. So we work with our partners, whether it's in city planning, INCOG, they can provide us maps of, we're working on an initiative right now. We just rolled it out at the end of April. It's called 330-300. So wherever you live or work within the city, you should be able to look out your window and see 3 substantive trees.
Wow.
Whatever neighborhood you live in, you should have 30% canopy coverage, and you should be within 300 yards of a quality green space. And so we've worked with INCOG, the GIS people there, to help us make maps. Where do we need to target so we can hit those numbers?
How are you guys able to fund all of this?
I would say that this is a great testament to the city of Tulsa and the people who live here, that for 50 years they have supported an organization like us. So those signs that you see on the side of the highway, those are individuals who have invested in the future of Tulsa through supporting us. It has morphed over the years. We get grants that we apply for. Foundations help support us as well. We currently have a contract with the city of Tulsa to help add trees, and that's coming up in January. We hope to have another 5-year contract then, but it's cobbling together money from over here and money from over there just to make all of these different programs work.
I remember distinctly being a little boy driving around with my parents and seeing those up with tree signs, and always being so confused why they were made out of wood.
Absolutely.
I was thinking, man, why not just not cut down that tree in the first place?
Yeah, so if you would think like regular forestry, which is producing lumber and things like that, and then urban forestry, those benefits, those environmental, economic, social benefits that trees get us where we live. Forestry is a huge industry in the United States, certainly in the state of Oklahoma. And it's grown like a crop. It just takes a little bit longer to harvest. So one, from jobs, from renewable resources and things like that, making our signs out of wood certainly makes sense. We make our houses and furniture and things along that line. It's also a safety aspect. There are crazy drivers in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it probably wouldn't surprise many of your viewers how many signs we have to go rake up on the side of the highway. So a car hits them, it explodes into about a million toothpicks. And so it's a safety aspect, but wood's a renewable resource, and it's just the entire life cycle of the tree.
So obviously I had some misconceptions just from, being an average person. What are some other misconceptions or myths that you're finding in this area?
Yeah. So one of the number one questions I usually get asked, why are signs made out of wood? The other ones are very similar. They are similar to each other. What's it like working for the city, or what's it like working for the state? And my answer is always the same. I don't know, because we are our own entity. We are a private nonprofit organization that we are out there hustling to raise our dollars. When Up With Trees started in 1976, the mayor at the time, Robert LaFortune, it was the streets commissioner, Sid Patterson, who went to the mayor and said, I think we need to do something about the trees. And the mayor said, start a nonprofit and we will help you in any way that we can, except with money. And for 45 years, they were very true to their word. We didn't get any support from the city other than partnerships, working together and being able to plant, let's say, in parks or whatnot. But after that master plan, and just pointing out the importance of trees in our community, the city has come along and helped support us as well. So I don't know what it's like to work for those entities, but we work with those entities very well. And I think that's a huge misconception. People just think, oh, Up with Trees is there. They've gotten tax dollars all these years. We have not.
So Up with Trees, I notice, has a long-term master plan for a forest that's, let's say, resilient, safe, and connected to the community. In your perspective, what does Tulsa's canopy need most over the next 20 years?
Yeah, I think, especially in those public places where individuals can interact, we need ongoing planting efforts. Certainly our parks have some very old trees, which is not a bad thing. However, they become more expensive to take care of in those areas. Like, we don't want large limbs falling and hurting anyone or damaging property. So we need to commit resources at the city level to help take care of city-owned trees, and then continue to plant so future generations have those, as well as targeting residential areas. That's the majority of property in the city of Tulsa. So if we're really going to impact the canopy coverage, how much shade, reducing temperatures, it's engaging homeowners and educating them how to take care of those trees to make sure that they live long, healthy lives.
I know that some people question why organizations plant younger trees rather than larger, more dramatic ones. What should people really understand about that decision?
Yeah, when you're putting a tree in the ground, it is basically stunted at that point in time until it can put new roots out, establish itself. It's really going to slow down its growth. And so there have been lots of studies done over time that if you put in a smaller tree, it's going to grow faster, and over about a 3 to 5 year period would catch up to that larger, more dramatic tree in the ground. So one, they're going to catch up, and in 4-ish years, you won't know any difference. It is much cheaper to put in the smaller trees, and it is way easier to establish them. I mean, last week with 100-degree temperatures, and we haven't had rain for a while, keeping water on those trees in the summer is much easier when they're smaller. And yeah, they'll eventually catch up. And so cost savings and reducing mortality are two big things on why to plant smaller.
How do you guys water the trees?
So we run crews all the time. We currently have 3 watering crews. So we've got 2 trucks that pull water trailers, and then we have a large water truck. So our crews are out watering 200 to 250 trees a day, so with 3 crews going, so we get about 750 trees a day. So we're closing in on close to 4,000 a week, and we water for 3 years. So we plant about 2,000 trees a year. So on a running cycle, we need to water 6,000 trees about every 10 days.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I know you've mentioned volunteers, donors, and businesses and city partners all play a role in this crucial work. How can someone participate even if they know almost nothing about trees?
Yeah, so we were built as a volunteer organization. The impact that we have been able to have within the city is because of the residents of Tulsa. They have come out, they have helped plant. So even if you don't know how to plant a tree, I'm very used to, on our plantings, showing people this is exactly how you plant, and then working alongside them through that planting. It is 100, almost 100 today. In October, it's going to be a lot nicer. That's when we're going to start planting. So people can go to our website, upwithtrees.org, look at our calendar, see where we're going to be on any given Saturday, and come on out. We can work with them. We bring all the shovels, all the rakes, the trees, the mulch, and everything. We just need willing participants that we will train on how to do that. If people want to show up and help paint those signs that you talked about, we do training to help fabricate those. Those are all made in-house. Another reason we do it. It's cheap and easy. And now, in talking to high school students, I'll say if you predicate your life on those two decisions, cheap and easy, may not work out for you. But with our signs, we make them in-house. It reduces our expenses as well. So, and people can help put those together. So whether it's planting, whether it's making signs, sometimes we have people come in and help stuff envelopes for us and things like that. There are numerous ways to get involved and volunteer. Those seedlings that we give away, we do dozens of booths, March, April, and May, and we need people to help staff those as well. And so we work with everybody at where they are and help educate them on what we need from them.
I know you mentioned your website. How can people learn more, volunteer, donate, and connect with you?
Yeah, so at upwithtrees.org, there's certainly a donate button on every page. But additionally, there are ways to sign up to be volunteers. If people just, there's a trees at upwithtrees.org email. If it's, I think we need trees in this park. We want to hear from the community. Where would you like trees? And then our job is to help work with our partners to get permission to do that, find the funding to do that, and then execute on it.
Steve, I so appreciate it. I found this interview super interesting. I appreciate you taking your time. I know you're a busy man, have a lot going on. I wish you and Up With Trees the best moving forward.
Thanks so much, Brandon. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnptulsa.com. That's gnptulsa.com. Or call 918-301-6356.